fishing is one of those Minecraft features which actually has a lot of different variables and a lot of different things to learn about, and today Toycat and I are going to be doing an ultimate guide on how to fish and how to best fish. But yeah, I think one way we should actually do this is actually in a flat world by using one of the presets, being the water world. Mainly because it's fishing, come on, it makes too much sense to do it in a world like this. And I think I want the starting point to be like on like a pirate ship or something like that. Since we're in a world that's pretty much nothing but water and aquatic based things, it would only make sense making like a pirate ship or some form of like wooden ship at the very start of this world, and then maybe, I don't know, buoys, maybe other fish related builds, and many of the different types of things like that. We'll deal with it as we get to it, but this is at least my first idea, a ship. And I think at the back of the ship it sort of like bends itself upward a little bit more than the front of the ship. It sort of takes a little bit longer. Why can't I build anything right there? What are you doing to me? Say something like this in a way, but like, you know, a little bit more exaggerated, I believe. But then like as you go up, I believe it starts like curving itself up a little bit more, I think. Yeah, so something like this, and then I think all we have to do is just extend it outwards, and oak should be fine. Or maybe spruce. Yeah, spruce will be better. But I guess the only real way to find out is actually building this thing up and doing it as quickly and efficiently as I can. And I think now the spawn area is pretty much done. Yeah, this actually took a little bit longer than I thought. But I think the extra work was worth it, because now this ship has everything and everything else we need. And it actually isn't too bad. I actually do like it. I'm not really that good at ships, but this actually looks pretty good. Something else I did add is, obviously at the very start, I always have to have like every single thing related to the specific like theme, and I think this is everything you could fish. I'm pretty sure. But now onto the actual guide itself, which I think honestly is gonna be pretty easy, all things considered, pretty easy. And I was gonna use campfires more, but I'll probably just do like a normal path, unless I can think of something, but I think for now I could just do mainly this, maybe some trapdoors on this too. Oh yeah, actually trapdoors look really good. I want this to really feel like just some sturdy raft or something that's falling apart, or something like that. Or actually, instead of that, I'll probably just do like a normal dock. Well, not normal dock, but hopefully a good looking dock. Yeah, I think we could definitely work with this. So let's start off with the most obvious of obvious things, obtaining a fishing rod. Crafting, of course, is like the easiest way in getting any type of fishing rod. You know, they could also be fish from the sea, so we should mention that too. Not exactly sure how we're gonna like tie it into when we actually get to the loot stuff, but we'll figure that out as we go. And then of course drowned have a small chance of having a fishing rod too when they spawn in. And actually I was gonna put them in a fence like the drowned, but maybe I could make like, I don't know, if this is gonna be a dock, maybe it could be like just a little dock shack or something, like a dock house. Like, yeah, this is supposed to be like a boardwalk, but it doesn't have to be just that. It could also have a few other things. Okay, this is small, but I really did everything I can to make it look as good and as, I guess, polished as I can. I think the only other ones I have to worry about is the trader with the villager, and then I think the ruin, I believe. And actually, we'll do the fishing thing here, and then we'll put the trader here. And with that done, and the obtaining bit done, we can now move on to the actual fishing part, which is actually kind of interesting and something I hadn't really realized too much. So to put it simply, everyone knows that you can fish for like any type of item and things like that, especially when it comes to like loot and things like that, say like enchanted books or fishing rods or whatever. Something I didn't realize is the fact that on Bedrock Edition, you don't need like any certain like specific amount of space or anything like that. So long as you fish in water, like where you're supposed to, then you could fish for pretty much anything. On Java Edition, you do need a certain level of space to actually fish out those enchanted books and those enchanted fishing rods and stuff. That is kind of a huge parity difference. One that I actually don't know what to think about. And I'll be honest, it's something I'm not going to be thinking about too much. All I'm going to be thinking about is actually displaying it on site right here, right after I probably show off like every single thing you can fish and like, I guess, categorize every single thing, unlike just putting everything in the ship, just having everything lined out. Pretty easy to understand, pretty easy to see, and pretty easy to comprehend. There's the default category, which is pretty much just all the fish types. There's all the treasure you could find, like all this stuff. I'm kind of surprised lily pads are in this category. We have, of course, the junk category, which, yeah, most of it is like junk, but some could be useful, maybe like the leather or the ink sacks or bones or something. And then we have one more board, which is actually jungle catches, because inside of jungle biomes, you actually have some unique types of catch possibilities you can find. And a lot of it you have seen in the previous... And a lot of it you've seen in some of these boards, but there's some unique things you could find inside of jungle biomes when fishing. Mainly things like the bamboo, such as cocoa beans, and that's pretty much it. I don't know why jungle biomes have a main subcategory for all the stuff that we get in every other category, but you know what, whatever, it's fine, it's fine. Let's now actually start talking about the fishing aspect alone now, between Bedrock Edition and Java Edition. And I think this pretty much explains it as best as I can, because in Bedrock, again, there's really nothing that's holding you back from getting any one of these categories, apart from the jungle thing. But for Java, you need to be fishing like pretty much in the center here, have 2 blocks there, below, and above, and have sky exposure for Java Edition to get treasure, enchanted loot. I mean, like, if you wanted to get, like, loot in any version, I think Bedrock's just the easier one on doing it in. I'm not saying Java, it doesn't have its points for adding this. I think it is, like, definitely better, I think. I mean, all things considered, a Bedrock player could get, like, so many enchanted books so easily on Bedrock Edition whenever they want, so it does make sense. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, how my feelings are. All I do know is I think this is a pretty good explanation on what to do and how to fish and things like that. But now on to probably some ways on actually helping your odds of fishing and things like that, like say with rain, say with, I don't know, keeping your distance from the bobber or whatever. Or wait, before that, we need to do enchantments. I completely forgot about enchantments. So they could be enchanted with any one of these enchantments. And now on to the actual main, I guess, exclusive enchantments, being just lore and luck of the sea. I thought there was more, but I guess it's just those two. And I think this is pretty much straightforward, like lore, luck of the sea, and then just putting every single enchantment on a single fishing rod pretty much says it all. And then I think it's just a matter of finishing up like things that could help you fish, such as the fact that, like, while you do need sunlight inside of Java Edition to actually fish, the fact is that if you don't have sunlight, your wait time pretty much doubles, I believe, or something like that. Again, pretty straightforward, nothing else to it. And now onto the rain thing, and then that's it. And then all I'd have to do is pretty much, like, I don't know, finding ways on decorating this entire place, because while the guide part actually does look pretty good, the fact is that the rest of this world is a little bit, bare. Like, there's literally nothing here. Like, that's the one problem with doing this in a completely flat world, in a completely world like this. But we can figure things out. We can figure some things out, and I have some ideas, but it's gonna take a while. Some ideas include building up other different types of islands, maybe having other small boats, having plenty of other different types of things like that scattered across this entire guide world. And now for the most part, unless I forgot something, the entire Ultimate Fish Guide has been made completely and fully completed, as we can see right here, with plenty of different types of things, including this pixel art, which I actually found online. This is not my design, but something that is my design is this. Okay, that song wasn't mine, the sign wasn't mine, but you know what? It's at least still a pretty cool touch, and everything else we have seen pretty much exactly the same, apart from some very obvious touches, like I love that little boat right there, I love the fish I built around there, I love the floating islands, the main islands, shipwrecks, ocean monuments above the water, like everything about this one guide is simple, a little bit small in some areas, and a little incomplete in other areas. I forgot to get rid of that command block, but generally, this is what the Ultimate Fishing Guide world actually looks like. Let me know what you think of this down below, but for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.